Good evening, hello and welcome to Debrief. I'm Anusha Soni. India will have a stockpile of over 30 crore vaccines by December this year. We still have a huge gap to cover when it comes to administering the second dose of COVID-19 vaccine. Apart from augmenting the vaccination drive in the country, a fresh discussion has started over the need for booster shots. Should the vulnerable population or the healthcare workers who got their jabs months ago be allowed to take the booster shots, especially when we have excess stockpile? That leads us to another crucial question. Is there enough scientific data to support the need for booster doses? Now, apart from ethical concerns, WHO says that booster doses must be given after there is enough data to support their need. Is there enough data on record? What do we know about the booster shots, their pros and cons? ICMR Chief Dr. Balram Bhargav says that there is little scientific evidence right now on record to support booster dose. Is that the view of other experts as well? We dissect the issue of booster doses, its need and feasibility for India, here on Debrief tonight. Joining us on the broadcast is Dr. Rajesh Parikh, who's the Director of Medical Research at the Jaslok Hospital and Research Center in Mumbai. Dr. Parikh, thank you so much for joining us on the broadcast. My first question to you, is there a scientific evidence, and I must say enough scientific evidence, to support the argument for booster doses in a country like India?
Good evening. Always a pleasure to be with you. And my answer to that is a simple yes. There is compelling scientific evidence gathered over nearly 200 years of the history of vaccination, and as recently as 3 weeks ago, to support the idea of boosters. First of all, I think it's important for us to understand that all vaccines, with the exception of the live attenuated vaccines, require boosters. The longest immunity is with the live attenuated vaccines, but none of the current vaccines for COVID use that platform. And so there has been evidence gathered over the entire history of vaccinology that boosters are required. In the current pandemic, we have seen data coming from different vaccines. And lately we are beginning to see the vaccines as a heterogeneous group, not just as one kind of vaccine. They're built on different platforms, they have different vectors, and they're all very individual, and their individualities are emerging now. And all of them have varying degrees of immunity duration. But most important, just about 3 weeks ago, a significant paper was published in the Lancet. This was a collaborative study between the Harvard Medical School and CLALIT. CLALIT now is a huge base from Israel. It covers half the Israeli adult population. And in this study, the database covered more than 1 million individuals, and they looked at individuals who had received just 2 doses and compared them with a control group match for age, gender, etc. Of individuals who had received the booster dose. And the answer is loud and clear. Between 92 and 93% of people who had received the booster dose had immunity, and immunity from illness, as opposed to those who had received just 2 doses.
But Dr. Parikh, then how does one understand a statement coming in from Dr. Balram Bhargav, who says we need more data, there is not enough data on record, or the argument of the WHO that there are ethical concerns right now for booster doses because a significant world population still doesn't have even a single dose? Could you address both the limbs?
Yes, I think they're both very important and interesting questions. One is scientific, the other is ethical, covers vaccine inequity. Let's address the first issue. The ICMR is justified to a limited degree in saying that there's not enough data from India to indicate that. But we cannot wait every time for data. The ICMR has had shifting positions in the past. There wasn't enough data to indicate that testing was required in India according to ICMR, when it was clear from the rest of the world it was. We were late in that case. There wasn't enough data to indicate that there will not be a second wave in the country, and we were a little late on that. And as has been said, absence of evidence is not evidence of absence. So to wait for Indian data may be justifiable to some degree, but when you look at the compelling data garnered over 200 years of vaccine history, over 2 years of COVID history, and more important, the data that got published in the Lancet on the 29th of October, if I remember correctly, from Harvard and CLALIT, I think the evidence is all there. So I don't see a compelling need to wait for the Indian data to see what is happening. Too many people have died. The Economist study anticipates shows that about 16.7 million people have died across the world as opposed to the official figure of 5 million. I don't think, in my personal opinion, that we need to necessarily wait for what the Indian data says. There's a large chunk of Indian people, mostly healthcare workers, who have received 2 doses and should be ready for their booster. And that brings me to the other issue of vaccine inequity.
Yeah.
Well, how do you explain the fact that crores of vaccines are coming close to expiry because they've not been used? They're going to be consigned to the dustbin. They're not necessarily going to Africa, where not enough people have been vaccinated. So to my mind, if you're talking in the Indian context, and we should then restrict to the Indian context, both in the science and the ethical aspects,
Sure.
I don't see an ethical argument for not giving boosters to vulnerable people when the choice is to either give it to them or consign them to the dustbin.
Dr. Parikh, there's another counter argument, and let me put that to you, that when it comes to the coverage as far as the second dose of COVID-19 vaccine is concerned, that remains low in India, relatively speaking, compared to the large coverage we have for the first dose of COVID-19 vaccine. Most of the experts who are arguing that we don't need booster doses as of now say that we need to rather focus on making sure that there is complete immunization, both doses are delivered, and this is not the right time for the booster shots.
Well, that's an interesting argument, but I don't think this is a binary decision, either or. It's not that either we give everybody a second dose or we start giving boosters now. We don't necessarily have to wait until the entire population or the eligible population has been vaccinated, because keep in mind, even the criteria for eligibility are going to change. Let us not be too astonished. If in the near future we see that children are going to get vaccinated, they will become eligible. So the number of people who are eligible is going to increase. But I think to say that we are first going to do this, and in fact, they've said we'll think about it. They've not even said that after we finish this, we'll do the booster. After we've done 80% coverage, we'll think about it.
Dr. Parikh, I think we're losing your audio there. We'll just try and fix that for our viewers. But as you're arguing, it's an interesting argument that there are no binaries which are really there. We lost your audio, Dr. Parikh, but go ahead. Please make your point.
Yeah, I'll just cover it briefly in case you lost it. And after the binary argument part of it, I was just saying that, we don't have to think of the second step when we come to it. When you're walking in any direction, you have your second and third steps planned ahead. And to my mind, to say that we're going to wait for the second dose to be given and then think about whether to give the booster or not does not appear to be a very persuasive argument.
All right, Dr. Rajesh Parikh, always a pleasure to have you on the show, and thank you for your candid views on this subject.
Thank you.